we are lined up for Australia. Before we get started, I'm just going to show you what you missed since the last episode if you've not been following on the Discord. And then we're going to go straight into practice because I'll talk through some of the techniques I've been using this season whilst practice is running. So we will get on. So key thing to note, it is the 2030 season. The season is underway. We have raced so far 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the 24 races. And boy howdy has this season been a bit of a shake-up. So let's have a look at what's been happening. So at Suzuka and in Brazil, as you saw on stream, we saw that actually the Aston Martins were sneaking up and looking somewhat competitive, and the Red Bulls were looking off the pace. Lando took results in both races. Since then, we had that rarest of things, a race where Soph takes a podium and the other two don't, and Lando doesn't. So again, you can see, I think it's Ocon there, isn't it? Coming through strong. Is that Ocon? I think it's Ocon. Lando back on top in Zandvoort. Then at Monaco, we had a very respectable first and third, separated by Max. But the Williams had been rapidly pulling their shit together. And so we actually got to see, in recent few races, Yuki Tsunoda is running really, really fast. We've not actually been getting a lot of poles. In fact, in Jeddah, we had that rare thing, which is a Lando second place behind Yuki Tsunoda. And then last race I did last night, we got Lando on pole. That was actually a P1, P4, so it's a good race for Soph in that one. But yeah, with both Aston Martins sneaking in behind, so both Ocon and Stroll. So where does that leave the championship? Well, the championship is... Actually, this is kind of helping us, because we're the more consistent than the Red Bulls at the moment in getting on the podium. So actually, we're doing pretty well from a championship perspective, 8 races in. And in driver terms, Norris is pulling away quite nicely. Yuki Tsunoda's sitting there in third. Then it's Ocon and Soph kind of pulling up behind that. But yeah, I mean, like, this is a spread. What's interesting is how badly Ferrari are doing this season. So I feel a future Ferrari rebuild may be our save where we pick up on drivers. All-women team. We could do an all-women Ferrari team. But anyway, things to note. Soph is now an 81. She's starting to look respectable across all categories, which is good. She has picked up another fucking point in her adaptability last month, but she did also pick up a bunch of points in other things, so it's good. I reckon we've still got maybe a year, 2 years tops worth of her picking up points. If we can get her up to 84, 85, I think we've got a really good shout. Montoya is doing well in the reserve role for us. He's almost ready to be our kind of second driver, which is good. The thing I just want to highlight before we go into practice is next year is the Great Reset. So these happen in-game every 5 years, effectively, and they reset massively everyone's parts. So, are you ready, chat, to see how big a reset we have coming? 52% across the board, and in some places 60%. So we are already researching to offset this as much as we can. But that is a huge reset coming. We'll be seeing, as you can see on rear wing stuff, we'll be seeing a 60 to 63% reset. Side pods is all in the 50s, underfloors is 50s, suspension is 50s. That is a huge reset across the board. And I'm having to very carefully do some different things about how we approach the cost cap to try and maximize how much research we can do for this. So we will talk about that as I kind of go into the next race. But first up, let's have a look at doing our pit stop stuff. I presume, as usual, our best bet is just to tell them to all go eat pizza. Like, lads, take the month off. Something else to just watch for is if we do end up continuing this save for our women-only drivers, the game has now randomly generated a female race engineer. She's not very good yet, but she does now exist, which is a start. There might be another one lurking in there, but so far I've only found one. She is down here somewhere. Yaleta Hartog. And the person we absolutely have our eye on, if we do continue this save, because the World New Women's Driver one is still broken, is... I don't think I bookmarked her. Because we've scouted her. Where is she? Elizabeth Richter. 21 years old. Reserve driver for Alfa Romeo. You ready for stats on this? Her development rate is high. So she's a very high potential driver. That's her stats already. That is a future world champion. She's only 21. And floating just above her is Ella Newland. Her dev rate's only average, but she's not bad either. Today during my lunch break I put a bit of your CK3 stream from yesterday, and I'm quite happy that you've been able to adopt the little kitty cat who was so ill a few weeks ago. Yes, we're just waiting on confirmation that we can go pick her up, which is nice. Bookmark those characters. That is a good point. Let's bookmark those, shall we? And was it Elizabeth Richter, wasn't it? Because yeah, the female drivers mod still hasn't been fixed, which is sad. Right. Anyway. Yeah, things we are doing. We are massively pushing on research already. Massively. We have been since the moment we could do research. We are all research all the time now. But yeah, let's head to a land down under, shall we? And then I'll talk you through how we're kind of approaching, or the approach I'm taking this year, to try and maximise how much research we can do. So we just set our targets. Got those there fine. Plenty of money in the bank. Let's just do a quick sweep on facilities. All good. Oh no, our tour centre needs refurbishing. Go for it. Let's go to the race weekend. She's already got the racing driver's neck. Yep.
It's wonderful to be back down under for the Australian Grand Prix.
Welcome to Australia, everyone. So, here's some techniques we're doing this year. I am not actually putting Montoya in this season. He's developing reasonably well and he's good enough already to be a second car driver. And actually, one of our key things we need to do is minimize car parts churn. Because every single extra car part we have to spend is money we can't spend on research. So one of the things I've been doing, for example, you'll notice that we're 8 races in and we're still running on chassis C1s. And we're still running on side pod C1, SP1s. I've been deliberately running us longer on the Gen 1 parts. So we've been running on Gen 1 parts as long as we have them in stock, mostly, to limit how many new parts we need to make. We're also limiting the amount of time that Lando's car is just spending on the track. Toto vibes intensify. Yep. What rank do I feel is the minimum for a reserve driver to step up? Depends on what you need them to do. If you need them to compete and get on podiums, 80. If you need 80 in a good car, basically. If you need them to just be on the track and building up, not crashing, then I think for Soph we put her in the car at 76, which was slightly earlier than maybe I'd have liked to, but we kind of got away with it. Just about. So that would be my general kind of guide, is once you're above 75, I think you're into territory where you can think about it. You just need to be careful. Yeah, so 77, I'd be tempted, if he's not crashing in practice, to put him in drives. The main problem you're going to have with him in drives is you can't in any way put him on aggressive or put him on high risk overtakes, because he'll just crash. And the only thing you just need to watch out for is his smoothness. If his smoothness is low, he's just going to absolutely murder your car parts. That's just the only other thing you've got to think about. But let's get everyone onto practice parts. Practice parts, practice parts. And I know that it says that smoothness only affects tyre wear. It doesn't. It absolutely affects parts wear. Because here's a good example. Granted, she's been running more practice 3s, but look at Soph's engine versus Lando's engine. I'd say about 5 points of that is smoothness. Oh yeah, I don't think I did the Discord thing, did I? Well spotted. Let me ping something into Discord. I knew I'd missed something. You will likely get fireworks sounds in the background because I'm in a fireworks area, so just be aware of that. There we go. Pinged into announcements. Right. So we're going to run Lando and not we're running Lando in practice 1, and we're ideally not running him at all in practice 2. So, car setup. We are in Australia. Let's get ourselves some Australia parts, shall we? Where's my Australia at? There we go, Melbourne. Maybe we should get back to Adelaide. Adelaide was fun. I mean, I like Melbourne, but Adelaide was fun. $65. Run plan will be 20. Run plan 20. But yeah, second driver time is a lot of it is how much money have you got to spare, and how desperate are you to get for them to get track time versus your team getting points. So arguably, for example, if your expectations are to finish 8th in a season, you might as well be running a dev driver in your team, in your second car. Also, you say Stroll is going to retire soon. What year are you in? Because you're not retiring in mine. Right, so we want in Australia. We want 8. Seven 3, 315, 065. Car setup, car parts, all good. Save. Why would Stroll retire when Daddy's footing the bill? Right. Practice 1. Get them out. Go, go, go. So, for the late arrivals, to reiterate, we're not running Montoya, we're running Lando, and we're running Lando in as few laps as possible to limit car wear, because we have a great reset coming, 50 to 65% knocked off stats across the board at the beginning of next season, so we need to do as much research as possible. If you think about it, buying a new engine for Soph would be 5 million. Buying new ERSs for both of them would be 5 million in total. That's 10 million we could be spending on research. That's easily 7 to 8 bits of research. Now, I think we're not going to get away without buying some parts for Soph, but the less we can buy, the better. Even if that means she gets desperately low results at the end of the season. If we've got enough to keep us in the hunt, I think we will do that. I see that the rules for this year ban tyre warmers but permit putting 3 scraps of carpet on top of your tyres. Yeah, as long as it's old carpet. You have to get it from the dump.
All okay with the comp?
Right, he's on great setup.
Understood.
How great is your setup, Lando?
If we can have a balance check.
87 is not great enough. I'd like to see more greatness out of that, Lando. So we want Australia, because I need to set it for him now. And that, the feedback on that is bing, 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 bing. Great, great, optimal, great, good. So it suggests 7, 12, 5, 6, 4, 3, 4, 8, 5. Run plan 40. Just stay out. That's 7, 12, 5, 6, 4, 3.4, 0.85. Go. Soph, 90. I mean, you might as well get the reconfigure because we brought you in anyway. So yours feedback is great, 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 good, optimal. It's just 8.5, 13, 8.2, 3, and 0.6. So let's try that. And everyone runs distance. So when are we sacking Norris? Well, this is the thing. Because we're going to face a decision point
Looks like quite a big accident.
at the end of this season.
Could be a lot of debris on track.
Because of that great reset.
Is everyone alright?
which is, do we sack Norris now? When I say sack, remember we're role-playing it that he's going to go off and drive for McLaren in IndyCar because he wants to do a Mansell. Do we gamble that we will have out-researched people enough that we're going to have such a gap in car quality that Soph will be able to win a title in that season? Or do we keep Lando around for one more year, try and milk a tiny bit more dev out of Soph, and then try for season 2 of the reset? That's what we're going to need to think about. This sounds like the sort of thing save games are for. I mean, yeah. I mean, what I am going to do anyway is I'm going to keep a copy of the save from the end of this season for the Great Reset. I'll actually share that on Discord. So if anyone has this game on PC and wants to just try F1 in 2030 with a Great Reset, they can. Without having to play 300 fucking hours of the game to get to that point. Personally, it would be to keep Lando around to act as a stalwart defender. That's actually problematic because he's too good. So what you end up with is him trying to catch her and overtake her. Then you have to flip on team instructions to tell him to stop, which fucks with his drive and fucks with her drive. And actually makes them both drive worse. Give them a worse car. I just don't think it's... I think also it doesn't really fit with the roleplay. Like, if we have Lando in the car and he could conceivably win, there is no way in real life everyone would be going, okay, Lando, take your foot off the pace and don't win another world championship, so that Soph can win one. Like, we don't want her being gifted the title. We want her to win the title. I don't mind telling Montoya to hold off to the back and prioritising her car over Montoya's. We'll absolutely do that. Because that's what you would do with a second driver, and she would be by this point the senior driver. So I think it would feel in character to do that, but it wouldn't feel in character to do that with Lando.
Gives a balance check. Balance check.
What's the risk that he gets picked up to another team? So, I think... I don't know how good this game is at picking people up. Now, the thing is, if we sack him on day 1 of the new season, no team will pick him up. I know that for sure. They would pick him up in season 2, though, and this is the problem. So they stick him in a fucking Red Bull or something, we'll have an issue, even if he's behind on the cars. I mean, actually, it could be any of the cars. It can depend on who devs well. A real-life Lando would want a new challenge after all his success, IndyCar or something. Yeah, I mean, he should. What was Schumacher's race total? Race wins total? Because he should pass that.
We have a checkered flag now.
This will be his, what, 4th championship? 5th championship? This would be his 5th championship, I think. Right, he's fine on satisfaction. He's fine on driver prep. He's only going out for a token lap. Soph is going out anyway, so it's fine. Right, Soph. Need you to do some feedback for me. Say 1, 2, 2, 3, 1. So 8, 5, 13, 9, 1, 2, 8, 5, 0.50. And hopefully this comes back optimal, in which case you can just run to the end, but worst case will bring you in early. Lando, you are at 80 prep, that's high enough. You are literally going out and then getting called back in again. Go, go. Get back in. Drive. Six championships will be the most in a row. 5 equals Schumacher's early 2000s dominance. In RP terms, I'd see him wanting to stick around for a year before he goes out to IndyCar. What I might do is put it to a vote and see what we want to do. Let's not hope Lando goes skiing. Yeah. If he wins this, he wins 5. But I mean, it's easy enough for a house to hand wave it and say that, like, oh, this is the season where, like, McLaren are convinced that they've got a car that can win the Indy and blah blah blah, or
Give us a balance check when you can.
she's on that, because we basically have to run her because we still don't know whether she picks up points from being in from driving in practice, and I think she does. Or this is the year McLaren have finally got around to building a hypercar and he's off to win Le Mans. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think it's easy enough for us to kind of go, well, okay. Would he be able to pick up by another team in time for next year? Yes. So what we may end up with is a situation where if we jump too early, didn't manage to pull off the title with Soph in year 1, then we'd still probably out-research people on year 2, so we'd still have an advantage, but we'd also probably be placing Lando behind a wheel somewhere else. He would get a drive somewhere else. Where that drive would be would depend on where people's contracts expire, because I think what I've noticed is that what the game doesn't do is it won't drop drivers. There's a reason fucking De Vries is still driving for Williams. It'll drop bad drivers when their contract expires, but it won't fire them. So where he would end up would depend entirely on who has a race seat coming up. So if we have to deal with Lando coming back, our best hope is that he goes to a shit team, yes. But we won't know what teams count as shit because everyone will be closer together again. My instinct is if we want peak drama, we let Lando go at the end of this year. Which is likely a team that's doing minimal research this year. Can we also see what contracts are up at the end of this year? Yeah, we can have a look. We can do a quick... Essentially, I'd have to scout all the top drivers, but I can scout all the top drivers. I can set that going.
We've had a big crash here. Reports of debris.
Because it's... I think the thing is, if we go...
So BSC.
If we let him go at the end of this year...
Positive. Copy.
If we sack him on day 1... then if we sacked him on day 1, another team will not pick him up. I don't think they'll pick him up. They might pick him up if it depends on whose contracts comes up this year. Like, for that, we might have to just play around with the save at the end of the season. Who crashes during a practice run? Well, apparently Mick Schumacher and George Russell do.
Yeah, copy.
Fucking De Vries, the only driver who's Dutch and actually lives in the Netherlands instead of the Belgian avoiding tax in Monaco. It's painful for my NL chauvinism.
So you've taken the flag.
As we've already established, Belgium doesn't exist. Would a day one firing not be a break of contract with a massive fine? We'd have to pay off the remainder of his contract, and that would then hit how much we could spend on research. But as it stands, the end of his contract is next season anyway. Technically, I don't think his contract expires at the end of this year. I think it expires at the end of next. Right, she goes out in P3 just because she needs to practice, but because I think we are inevitably going to have to buy parts for Soph, which is going to really annoy me. Either that, or we gamble on practice 3s and not adding to her stats enough to make it worthwhile, but I think they just do. There was, I think, one season we had 4 British drivers in F1, and the only one who lived in the UK was Australian, Mark Webber. Yep. I always liked that Andretti used to commute from to the UK from the US via Concorde. Like that's proper baller F1 level. Right, so she goes out for 30. You're going out on softs. You're on softs. Like, my inclination is to drop Lando at the end of this year, because I think we will come out ahead on research. And I think even if Lando ends up in another drive in Season 2, we'll still have a hell of a research gap. Andretti still gets hate for that, which I don't get. Because who was he driving alongside at McLaren at the time? Whoever it was lived in fucking Switzerland. It's Senna. But Senna used to beast his way over from Argentina half the time. And like, granted, he's Ayrton Senna. Not Argentina, sorry. But he used to beast his way over. I'm sure one of the prime technical people used to live in Switzerland and fly in as well. And like, Andretti used to regularly beat him on his commute because it was quicker for him. How did that one work? Senna did precisely fuck all on car setup or engineering. Like, he pre-season, he didn't do any pre-season testing. He didn't do anything else. Basically, Senna was a brilliant driver and instinctively knew cars. So actually, a lot of his teammates would complain. Well, not complain, because they knew they were driving against a genius, alongside a genius. But they did say that essentially all of the setup work outside of race time tended to fall on them, because he would just be on a beach somewhere. Because he's Ayrton Senna, and you're going to tell him he can't go sit on a beach somewhere? Now, the fun what if is if Senna had agreed to Eddie Jordan's proposal, where he would have sold him 49% of Jordan F1, and Senna would have been both the driver and therefore a team owner. And that would have been interesting. That's an interesting alt history right there. Senna becomes part owner of Jordan and drives for them. I think it would have gone spectacularly wrong. But it would have been fun whilst it was going wrong. A lot of people said Michael wasn't taking F1 seriously enough because he missed meetings and flying back, and he was flying back. I've always been slightly suspicious of that, to be honest. I've seen plenty of accounts from people inside the team at the time that said Michael got he was given less leeway than most. But where he did fuck up was because he was kind of new to it. There were plenty of people who felt that he needed to have at least put in a decent year before he started behaving like the other F1 drivers. So a case of it should have been a case that like people, if people have felt he'd put in at least kind of while if he was racing well, or if it'd been if he'd done at least a year of getting to know McLaren and getting to know the people there, and then started to not turn up quite so often, he'd have been all right. But he just went straight into kind of behaving like the other drivers. Seems like a recipe for disaster of driving having a significant share of a racing team. Yeah. Ask Alain Prost how that one worked out. Oh, if someone did a Prost racing skin for this, we would absolutely do an all-French team. Yeah, that was the other problem Andretti had, was essentially he ended up competing for a place with Häkkinen. And even at that stage, Häkkinen was looking like an absolute talent. There's a fantastic BBC documentary, multi-part documentary, where they were given full behind-the-scenes access to McLaren during the season Andretti was there, and it's all up on YouTube. I forget what it's called, but if you Google McLaren or if you look on YouTube for McLaren documentary BBC 1990, whatever year it is, it'll come up. Utterly brilliant. To my mind, one of the finest F1 documentaries ever made. You get to see Ron Dennis being the most Ron Dennis he's ever been. Andretti talking about kind of the difference between driving in Indy and F1, because obviously it's covering him when he's really struggling. You know, you've got Senna there, there's a fantastic little side convo between Ron Dennis and Michael Schumacher in it. There, where he goes up to him on the grid and is just like clearly trying to woo him as a future driver for McLaren, and just utterly fucks it up. And the mics catch him. The team a season with McLaren, yeah, that's the one. If you want evening background viewing, stick that on. Someone remind Paul of that when he gets back from watching the F1. From watching the F1 highlights, because if he hasn't seen it, he will absolutely want to see it. So chat, that's your job. If he comes back after he's watched the F1 with his wife, flag up that we were talking about that documentary. To go, we've got a live stream going for the release of V17 of the framework I've been contributing to. Ooh, good luck. I assume that's a code-based framework rather than a game one, so good luck. So we got some timing on track for flow. Norris should have good setup. The other thing that's interesting, you'll see this now. How does she have an 80% setup satisfaction? Can you build your own team in F1 Manager? Do you have to stick with the current ones? You have to stick with the current ones, although some people have done skins of them. I think that's the biggest flaw and the biggest limit on its streamability and replayability. And I would hope that actually they do something about that. If we get an F1 Manager 2024, I hope that they add a custom team mode. Because you can sure as hell think that if they do, we are slamming in some Lotus F1 and some Leighton House and some Sauber and getting some of the old names back in there. Yeah, the setup website is f1setup.it. Fantastically useful. But yeah, one thing you'll notice now is qualifying is a hell of a lot more random, because the cars are so much closer together. Like, it's entirely possible one or both of our cars will go out early. Adrian Newey's return to Leighton House would be fun. Oh shit, yeah, we'd have to see if we could get someone to mod in to database edit Adrian Newey back in, and we do Leighton House under Adrian Newey, the Revenge. There's a mod that turns Alpha into Sauber, yes, and we might use that for our all-female race team if we're not going to go with someone big. Quite like the idea of getting Sauber back in there. Did I do parts on both cars? Yes, I did. So yeah, get ready to watch the absolute much closer randomness that is qualifying, to the point where I've actually started just sending people out, because we nearly always need to get 2 laps in, and so it's worth doing a bit of a YOLO and just sending them out straight away and seeing if you can dodge traffic.
Just keep your dash negative. Keep your dash negative.
That might be enough.
Yeah,
But yeah, if you just like the idea of skinning cars into different ones, Sloveniesta, the race department website has loads of cool mods. There's a Toyota one in there. There's some really quite cool ones in there. Yeah, she should be alright. Flo should be alright with that. She's not going out in P1 at that time. There's a Hugo Boss Racing, which is quite cool. De Vries and Russell both looking dodgy. The Red Bulls are running well this race. Yeah, Russell's not getting through. But you see what I mean straight away about how much more interesting it is. Oh, Russell and Sainz, both Ferraris out. Both Ferraris out in qualifying 1 in Australia. This is why I think saving Ferrari might be our way to go. Because if you think about it, by this point, by 2030, on the basis that they haven't won one since we've been playing, how many years would it have been since Ferrari last won a championship? Now we're going to gamble on old tyres, because we have got away with this, and because Soph's smoothness is now at a point where she can mostly get away with it. The other F1 games don't usually offer custom teams, so it might be F1 licensing issues that prevents a custom team mode. But they do it in the regular F1 racer. Really, gambling on old tyres. Yeah. I think based on those times, we might be able to put it off. We should be able to put it off for Norris. Question is whether Soph will just about manage to qualify on them. If we have to throw Soph out again on better tyres, we will. I think we're going to try and rush her out, and then Norris will look for a gap. Go on. That's clean enough. She might get away with that.
Get the delta negative. So just confirming boxing and backing. into the garage.
Stroll.
Yeah, copy.
There's Gasly. I think we go now. Gonna send Norris out again, I think. I think she might be alright, but Norris is going to need another lap. He should get one in. You can also send your car out again to create traffic. You absolutely can. And I do absolutely like fucking with everyone else's flying laps whenever I get a chance. Oh, I don't know if this run's going to be any cleaner for him. And he's on older tyres again. Oh, look at that.
Put you P1.
Noz did not like being out qualified by Flo there. ...2008 was constructors because Mike McLaren, who had the fast car, also had Heikki Kovalainen driving it. Kovalainen! Damn. Blast from the past. But hopefully you can see from these qualifying performances why I'm legit in two minds about whether we let Leclerc's out, whether we let Norris go at the end of this season. Because you imagine her with a really solidly advanced car under her. Oh, Mick's carrying a penalty as well. So now she's got fresh tyres. Now she's got 2 sets of softs and 2 sets of mediums for the race. The thing I'm finding with Flörsch, where we've got her now, is she just has zero margin for error. If she has a bad lap, it's a really bad lap. Whereas if Norris has a bad lap, he's probably still going to be only be within 0.2 of the field. If she has a bad lap, she's like a second down. And that's the big difference between them. Consistency, basically. Right, grips high. I think we're going to send both of them out straight away. Oh, give me a decently clean run here. That's probably alright. Oh, she caught him on the corner.
Keep your dash negative. Dash negative.
Right, Flo, you're going out again. Not least because hopefully you might fuck with a few fast laps on your second lap.
So we're happy with that lap. So cool.
That's mostly clean. It's an experience thing or something more psychology based. It's essentially the game representing both. So her stats aren't anywhere near as good as Norris's. Norris is easily the best driver in the game at this point. Like, out of ratings of 100, all of his stats are, if not in the 90s already, like top end 80s. Whereas she's low end 80s and in a couple of stats still top end 70s. So if you think about it, when the dice rolls fall in her favour, she performs great. But she doesn't have the stats level to compensate for if the dice rolls go badly in her favour. Like, when they go well like that, we've got a P1, P2. So it's basically that she doesn't have the margin of error that Lando does.
Race day has arrived.
Is our car significantly better than the others? She's getting the second best lap at the moment. It's better than the others. It's not significantly better than the others anymore. And this is the thing, is I'm thinking if she's starting to generally be P1 through P5, and if she's doing that on a car that is maybe marginally better than the others, if we've nailed our research right, she should be able to win it. Because she'll have a really good car under her. Right, strategies. Oh, he can definitely... So this is a fun one. These strategies, I don't think take into account the tyres you actually have. They take into account the tyres the game expects you to have as a minimum availability. It's not dynamic. So if you look at number C, watch. I bet you I can do soft, medium, softs. Easily. Easily do soft, medium, softs. But the game doesn't adjust for your driver's smoothness, and it doesn't adjust for the fact that you probably haven't, that you've, like, by running, you saw when we ran in qualifying 2, we ran on used softs. That means we've got 2 sets of fresh softs. Most cars, almost any other cars on this track will not have 2 fresh pairs of softs. As a general thing, I find myself preferring medium soft soft to soft medium soft to soft soft medium. Yes and no. Where it really comes into its own is if you're at the front of the grid. Because with Lando we can burn away, and if we can gap, if he can gap, or him and Flirsch can gap to 3, so they're not DRSing third place, they will start to pull away and they'll get that advantage. But that's because I heavily underfuel. Yeah, and it's if you're doing the massive underfuel strategy. As we've talked before, I don't like doing the underfuel strategy. What I have done, and what is working well with Flo, and we'll do it now. So we can definitely do that. If we can do that with Lando, we can do it with Flo. Because her smoothness has come on a lot from where it was. So... we can be relatively flexible in where we pit her, but I think that's probably the most likely where we will do it. And we'll burn the mediums. Can I show you a seriously awesome free-mail auto-generator I'm assigning next season? Allowed to post a link. Yes, but if you post it to the Discord, that's easier. Post it to Discord, and I'll ping the link in here. Because it'll just block the link. Did I not save that? I just didn't select it. So what I am going to do is we are going to underfuel Soph by 1 lap. Because she runs heavy anyway. If you look at her weight, she's now only just under Lando's fuel weight. So what we're going to do is Lando, they're both going to burn. Well, Lando's going to burn. And Soph is going to run on average, but we are going to set her to aggressive early on. Yeah, and they really need to fix this fucking car setup constantly reverting to the last setup you did rather than the best setup. Thanks for spotting that, because I'd missed that. So that is everything set, I think. Let's give it a go.
The fans here in Melbourne are all set, as are the drivers.
So, fellow old-timers, what's your preference, Melbourne or Adelaide? Who actually remembers Adelaide, apart from me?
To see what he can do in this car.
They start in P1, but will they be able to stay there? The first corner could be so crucial.
I used to fucking love Adelaide.
See just what will happen here today.
A real shame they dropped it. Mind you, let's be honest, we're going to end up with a 30 race season at some point, so
It's lights out and away we
now I'd
go.
expect the Red Bulls to be strong here. So she's starting 1.8 down, but she'll make that back over the course of the race. And if we get a safety car or anything like that, she'll make it back. Yeah, stick up in 10, because then I'll show you the regen we were looking at earlier. Yeah, so Leclerc's off to a flyer. Now this is where Flo actually helps Lando now, because she will back those other drivers up.
These tyres are good nick.
Let's see if we can gap Leclerc. I wasn't pushing fully on Norris to begin with, because my thinking was if he could drag Flo around the track, even better. But if he can gap Leclerc, I wound up with literally 3 powerful female autogens that appeared in the first 2 years of my current run. Nice. We've got one lined up for our all-female run, and I'll show her again after this, because I'm really annoyed that they haven't fixed the W drivers mod. I think with that it just got a bit too ambitious. Frankly, part of me is almost tempted to see if I can find a guide to modding F1 Manager, and I'll just fucking fix it myself. And notice how much closer this is than previous seasons. Feels like if Norris can create a gap, he can basically maintain it forever while Florsch struggles to create a gap. Yeah, pretty much. Basically, if Norris gaps Leclerc now, and they're both on the same tyres, Leclerc isn't catching him. So Leclerc's on hards. So he must be really pushing. So all we've got to do is push longer than Leclerc does. But Flo's dropped Verstappen's. They're doing a one-stop then. They're on a one-stop. So Poucher. So the Red Bulls are on a one-stop. So are the Williams and so are the Aston Martins. So are the Mercs. Need to go to dots. Yeah, we could go dots.
You're now P3. Leclerc ahead. Verstappen car behind.
There you go. So he's got a 4-second gap, so we can actually drop him back down now. But we're going to actually attack with Flo. Let's see if she can gap Leclerc. I wouldn't have thought so. This is where she struggles at the moment, is she struggles to drop other cars. She just doesn't have that raw pace that Lando can bring to the car. And Leclerc is a better driver than her.
So cool the tyres. Yeah, cool.
Go on, Flo. Have him drive slowly to get Flo in range and then just DRS up. I'm more obsessed with Lando winning the race than I am with... Remember, this is still really an experienced season for Flo. If she's scoring points, we're happy. Whereas Norris, we need to be really getting points. Surprised Leclerc didn't pass there. He depends on what he's set to, and he is on hards. Okay, we're going to drop her tyres back down. She's relatively on curve, and we have got a bit of leeway on the mediums. I'm actually going to push Norris up. Let's see if he can sustain on aggressives.
Let's push.
Go on, Flo, you can hold him. Yes! The other thing to remember is her overtaking and her defending are now very high, relatively speaking. Oh, no! Fucking curse of the first race.
Yellow flag down there.
The stream curse strikes. Right, now we actually do want to go dots, because she'll have the best chance of catching up if we go dots. See, this is where she really struggles now, because she just doesn't have that extra bits of ability over the others to just pull stuff back. So she's eating into the gap slowly, but she's not doing it anywhere near fast enough to actually... Like, Norris would be back up to 15th by now already. And this is what I was saying about her margin for error just isn't there. Bono, I think Soph knows there's a yellow flag, seeing as how she caused it. Yeah, I like to think he's being sarcastic. Right, Lando's on pit window. Let's explode the tyres. Because everyone else is one-stopping here. I wonder if we want to bring Flo in early.
Just keep the pressure on. You can do this.
Let's let her get a bit of a DRS bump off of there. And the moment she hits 40, we're pitting her. Lando's on optimal. Let's pit him now. For Norris spinning out with just when being wanting to do a last to first experience. We had one of the races earlier in the season where he won it after spinning out and coming rejoining in 11th. Still won the race comfortably. Below, you're doing one more lap burning the tyres. He rejoins in third, mostly because Stroll tried to fuck him. Right, Soph, get in. And maybe don't murder those tyres quite as much. One stream had him go first to 20th to worst. Yeah, we have one from the back with Norris twice. In our defence, that was when we had the car with the obscene advantage. Ocon, would you mind getting out of the fucking way?
You have to bring these tyres in gently this stint, please.
Right, I think we have the right strategy here. Just needs to break away from Leclerc. There we go. Go on, break him. You almost had him. That's it, you got him. Right, Flo, you can just burn those tyres. No, at least he's getting overtaking experience. Now that'll be a lot of the one-stoppers coming in. So she's going to lose a lot of places when she does her second pit. But realistically, this should very easily be Norris's race now, unless something goes catastrophically wrong. '23, should we bring him in? Post in Discord under general, nice one. For future reference, there is an F1 campaign channel for all sorts of awesome F1 chat. We will have a look after this. When are we bringing him in? They're all on mediums. So they're trying to go the distance on mediums. They can't be going... Ocon's going the distance on mediums, isn't he? If he's 87 on mediums at this stage, he's got to be going the distance on mediums. I think if we can get a few more out of it, it would give us better on the softs. I think with Norris, we let him run down a bit as well. There's no harm in it. I think while they're still gaining time, it's worth it. Right, Leclerc is pulling him back. Leclerc's on fresh softs. Let's see if Flo holds off Poucher. And let's try and get another lap out of Norris.
Everything you've got.
No, Poucher's gaining on Flo. I think we tell Noz to come in and Flo to come in. She resigns in 17th, but she should, if she can catch that pack, she'll be fine. Yeah, this race is Norris's. It's going to come down to whether Flo can climb herself back into the points. Like an on-stream curse for Flo again.
Looks like quite a big accident, yeah. So just watch out for any debris here in this section.
Good old Mick. Still slamming into cars like it's 2021. Yeah, stream curse from was she third at the time? Second? How old is Sophie at this point? She is 29, 28, just turned 29. That's why I do think next year or the year after are our big chances. If we don't get a title with her in one of those 2 years, we're never getting a title with her. No penalties? Fuck off. I have to take her off of super cool tyres. Yeah, you can go back to standards, deploy. Let's be honest, you can probably nurse those tyres a bit.
Look at the McLaren driver here. The gap opens up for them. Up to 12th and sniffing at those points places.
I think at this point, let's just go with getting her over the line. She'll get a bit of DRS overtaking by hanging around with Russell. She's not making up 11 seconds on them. She just isn't. She's not good enough to make up 11 seconds, so just get round Soph. Get the development. Lando's got the win. Verstappen's way back anyway. So it's not like Red Bull are picking up tons of points off this.
Gives away on the way past, mate.
Nice, good job.
Lando Norris wins it. He's first over the line.
So we have to
12th after a massive spin that pushed her back to 20th. Slightly annoying. I think she'd have held on for 5th. But you know, stream curse. And at least we got to see the live. We got to see it live this time, not in replay.
What a remarkable drive by
Yeah, well done, Lando. So that gives Lando another boost in there, and constructors, we still outscored everyone apart from Aston Martin, so could be worse. Right, let's have a look at this promising Ingram's link. Claire Bourgeois, what a great name. Is that 73? Yeah, she's quite nice. She's quite good. Accuracy needs work. If you get her accuracy and smoothness up, you could stick her in a car within 2 years. And she probably wouldn't be terrible as a second driver. She wouldn't score you many points, but she'd get a lot of experience. Give her 3 seasons and she's race competitive. What's her development rate? That's the thing you want to look at. Because that's a real good guide. High, nice. Because if we stick with this save for our all-female F1 team, then this is our future World Drivers' Champion. Elizabeth Richter, age 21, overall rating 71, development rate high. And that's her stats. Like, overtaking, defending should just build up by being in a race. Adaptability, she's going to be shit in the rain early on, that's fine. But yeah, like that is already race worthy. And the smoothness you could stick in a car relatively quickly. Like, I'm tempted for us to, if we do boot Norris after this season, I think we bring her in as reserve so that we can oversee her development. And then if we go and try and save Ferrari if they're terrible at the back in the next one, whoever we go to save, we poach her and stick her in a race seat. This is who we'd look at for driver number 1 if we weren't stealing Soph. But development rate average. But again, her stats are pretty good already. Her reactions and her accuracy are the big flaws, and her adaptability. Those, again, races would sort out. Oh, I'm going to scout all the current drivers, aren't I? So that we can see when their contracts are up. Let's have a look. Can I do it from the standings? So Max... Oh, we can just see it, can we? So Max has got 2 years. So he's not out of contract at the end of this season. This is going to be very slow, isn't it? Let's have a look at filters. Clear. F1. Remaining contracts less than a year. Apply and return. That's the only people with things applying at the end of this year. Good evening, Pure My6. Hope you're good. That's the only people who have contracts expiring this year in F1. We go to under 2 years. It's basically a wider field. So I could see Lando ending up Ferrari if we're not in charge. Maybe replacing Max, but it's unlikely. Max just gets renewed. Like, George Russell probably just gets renewed. This is who you want to watch, is Chinboy. Chinboy really devs on well. Those you haven't scouted wouldn't appear though. Yeah, that's true. Let's see if there's anyone we're missing. So the easiest way to do it is to do this. Leclerc, contract. Let's scout everyone. I only need light scouting, don't I? Let's just standard scout everyone. Mind you, Science might retire. Right, remind me, chat, that I need to keep scouting drivers. Oh, stop fucking with my facilities. Right, car parts. So, Noz needs a new front wing. Again, I'm trying to run him on old parts as long as I can get away with it. Because the less we're spending on parts, the more research we can do. So I think we're going to gamble on keeping him on a front wing. On an old front wing. Soph is still good on all parts. I like the idea that you get the contract details somehow. Yeah. I mean, in most cases, you'd just be asking their agent, and their agent would tell you. Right, simulator's back. Okay, research done on suspension. Let's get, so... we haven't done any chassis yet, we've got one in progress. How long have we got? We've got 9 days until the next ATR. I think we've got one more. Yes, so one more. Oh, we got 2 to clear in that time. Tricky. I think what we do is drop that to 3. Hang on, if I drop it to 2, we get 10 days. Let's slam that on front wing. We can get an extra one on there. Doesn't really... Well, it might affect that. No, it's not going to have a big difference there. So you can have one more back, so that's 9. Let's go with suspension again. I'm just going balanced because the drop is in everything. We'll worry about tweaking stuff based on where we find we are on the grid next year. Okay, that's a bunch of scouting done. So who's next on our scouting list? Yuki! I can't believe you turned into a good driver. Might be a lot of contracts up, you know. Scan the stat. Yeah, it should do. Standard scouting not give contracts. Well, that's shit. Boo. Boo. Oh well, we'll go back and correct that. Can't cancel the scouting, so we just have to fix it after the next bit. What we're doing car parts dev. We're gonna have 2 on that. We've already got 2 on that. Give me an underfloor. Having lots of engineers on projects early on has a much bigger impact than having less engineers on projects later on. So if you're looking to kind of really min-max your stuff, you can. Rear wing had the biggest drop though. Yeah, well, we will probably... I want to get up to at least 4 research in everything, but we will probably go for 3 and then we will push hard on rear wing. Because I think it is rear wing that has the biggest drop, you're right. Rear wing gets to 60. I think everything else is in the 50s. So yeah, maybe we should push heavily on rear wing. Back from watching the race. Yeah, it's a good race, isn't it? Right, we're off to Azerbaijan. Our usual selection. Still got our qualifying and positions. Facilities. Yes. Yes. Oh no, our weather center's fucked. However, will we adapt? Half tempted to not refurb that. Like, how will we know that our weather reforecasts are bad? That would imply there is the possibility of our weather forecast being good. Everything is a massive drop. Rear wing just happens to be even more massive. Yes. It does. Okay, P1 running on hards. We are in Baku. Yeah, 1-5. 10-5. 3-7. 2-9. 0-8-5. So that is 1-5, 10-5, 3-7, 2-9-5, 0-8-5. That is 1-5, 10-5, 3-7, 2-9-5, 8-5. Let's get our run plans and everything sorted. Just to reiterate for everyone who's joined a bit late, by the way, at the end of this season, I am going to stick up my save game for the end of the 2030 season. So if you fancy just jumping straight ahead to 2031 with a great reset, I've got the team reputation that you will be able to take over any team on the grid and play 2031 without having to play 300 hours in between. So if you just want a really interesting and different experience with loads of drivers retiring and all of that, think of it as almost a fresh start, fresh save. Could you just run on used tyres from previous races for practice? Nope. So each race has different tyre rules. Well, not each race, but they have different tyre rules. But you can see that there are certain sets you can't use until the race. There are others you can do now, and you always have to hand back a set of tyres at the end of the race, at the end of each session. So that's why we actually run on softs in the second and the third session, because we want to have more mediums available than other drivers. 20 needs to be a 20. Driver options, driver options, driver options, driver options. Blah 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 blah. Not swapping Norris. Save, go. Morning, freaking out. Go, go. Get your instructions in. IRL, it's more confusing than this because Pirelli actually have 6 compounds and what is soft, medium and hard, and different changes. 5 think grades of dry tyres, C1, C5, and there's C0. Yeah, I mean they simplify it in the game for obvious reasons, because you know it has to be fun. So what we're hoping for here is Norris getting optimal setups quicker, because then we can only ping him out slightly in the other practices, whereas we do have to keep pushing Flörsch out. The other option we could do is just stop pushing Flörsch out, run the risk that it costs her a point here or there, but it means we don't have to buy her engine parts, which is more research we can do. I mean, kind of in two minds about it. The problem being we don't know how much of an impact her running in, say, P3 actually has on her stats.
How you feeling?
It's all good.
Lando, come in and let's have a look at you.
Understood.
Let us know what your thoughts are.
Flow's optimal, which is great news. $86, that's not enough. We want over 90. So Lando, Baku. He is a great, an optimal, a great, and a good. Setup Finder says we should flip him to 2.5, to 11, 3.7, 0.28 and 0.65. And get out there and do the full lot. The reason we tell them to go out and do a full lot after this is because, remember, 97, that's fine. Soph, just get out there and drive. Go drive. Drive to survive. So again, a reminder, the reason we do this is note that that's essentially an exponential curve. It's quite hard to tell because it's quite low down at that point. You can see it more on Florsch there. So you want them to have a long stretch. You don't want to be bringing them in a lot. See it more now that he's readjusted the curve. So I'd rather run them all the way through. If it turns out that we need to do another setting change, we'll do it in the gap between sessions, because then it's not going to cost us time. I presume it would have a big impact on the psychology of Florsch depending on his motivations. I don't think the game would model the psychology of it, assuming as long as we got up. So it kind of does, because that's the driver prep. But you can see she's already at 76 driver prep. Now, she is a much better driver when she's at 90. So there is an advantage in us pushing her out until she's at least at 90%. But she can normally get that about halfway through P3. And one of the reasons that is an advantage is because based on your driver, yeah, see, look, we're going to need to do his setup again.
It's not too bad.
Okay,
I'll show you it before we go into the race view. But their driver prep actually gives them extra points in each category, like temporary points boosts. So when she's racing, she's not actually racing as a rank 80 at the moment. If she's got good prep, she's actually probably racing as the equivalent of a rank 83. But remember that is the AI is getting similar boosts, not to the same level because they're not as good as optimizing, but they will be getting some boosts. But that's also something to consider when I say about you can probably get away with sticking a 75 or above driver into a second car. They'll crash more in practice than they should do in the race, because as long as you play them safe in the race and you have them set to not only do low risk overtaking, then they'll be getting the points boost anyway from having high prep, assuming you're better at prep than the AI is, which you should be because you should be using F1 setup. So it all kind of balances out. Pie! How you doing? It's a very different experience from what I assume you were playing. Were you still in Sims mode?
okay, that's the check.
We are racing, Pie. We are F1 racing. We are 300 hours into this save. And this is all because there is literally at the beginning of this management game, this F1 management game, there is literally one female driver in the entire game. And we have spent 300 hours trying to make her good enough that she might be able to win the Formula 1 World Championship. And we are starting to get close. Now, there are more female drivers that come in as the game adds kind of random drivers. But as it stands, when this game was made, Sophia Flörsch from Germany is the only legitimate female driver who is within the high enough ranks of the racing scene to get into the game. So this is a bit of a 79. We need to do a setup again. So yeah, my name is Garius for Raiders. Even if you're not going to hang around for this, CK3 on Sundays, Crusader Kings 3 on Sundays. Sunday we will be looking at the brand new DLC for Crusader Kings 3, so do tune in for that one. And then Pie normally streams after me, so if you're up early, hang around for that. Right, let's just sort out Norris's setup, because this influences how well he drives. So according to things, we should be turning him to a 1, changing his driving angle to a 10, and a 2.8, a 310, and a 1. we're going to put him out for 30 laps, although you won't need it in this practice session. Soph is on 97 as a setup. She's fine. Soph, just run. Run like the wind, Soph. Just go out there and drive your little car around as you get more used to it. All good. Let's go. Yes, that'll be new CK3 DLC on Sunday. Oh, and one thing we did discover on Sunday Pie. One thing we did discover on Sunday was you can, with the last DLC, you can do murder pilgrimages, which is basically where you do a pilgrimage, and rather than trying to avoid all the dangerous places, you deliberately go through as many dangerous places as possible, and just make sure that the people that are coming with you on the pilgrimage are people you hate. And then you get to watch as they drop like flies, as they fall overboard ships, or get murdered by bears, or anything else. Like, it's so much fun. I think we did one yesterday to try and kill off our ruler, and we fought 5 bears over the course of our pilgrimage. Captain Franco, welcome to the stream. How is this game? Well, I mean, I've put 300 hours into it just on this run. This is still literally the first run we did. I think it's the best racing management game out there at the moment. For me, it just pips Motor Racing Simulator with the Fire mod running. Is it as good as it can be? No. Is it very good and very fun? Yes. But you do have to like management sims. Oh shit, why are we running Norris? Oh, we need feedback, don't we? You do have to run management sims. Like I love playing Football Manager, so I'm used to the idea of almost role-playing my own stories behind this. So our story here, for example, is we've been working hard to get Flörsch to a position where she can win the championship. Nice. Norris is optimal. Let's call him in. We don't need him out there anymore. We're actually going to like fan wank it in our heads. Probably at the end of this season, Lando Norris retires or goes off to drive in like Le Mans 24 hour, and then we will get a second driver in just so we can give Flörsch a clear run at the title. So you do have to headcanon it a bit. But yeah, it's really good. I was still hearing danger music when I went to bed. We just had like, what, 40 minutes of pure danger music as we wandered around the countryside, going to every danger spot in the entirety of Europe on the way to Canterbury. See, she's now technically at 91. So the question is if she's still picking up experience and development points by driving this practice. Because if not, I'd call her in now and save wear and tear on the car parts. Oh yeah, and we ended up seducing a random Irish woman. Didn't she die? Didn't she also die before the end of our trip? And like the Countess of some random Italian place just decided to randomly join us. We got a filthy amount of piety for it though. The only one I have like this is Motorsport Manager. I love this one. If you loved Motorsport Manager, you will love this. I love Motorsport Manager. The only thing I really wish... Well, there's 2 things that they could do to make this game a true modern version of Motorsport Manager. And that is add F2 and F3 as manageable and make it so that you can have a rules change that allows for promotion between the divisions. And to add custom teams. I think the reason that you don't get a lot of people streaming this anymore is because ultimately, if you're any good at it, by 4th season, whatever team you're driving with, you've won. You know, you've won the championship. So most people don't want to sit there and just use the real teams for like do that over and over again. I would love to be able to turn around and go, right, we're going to rebuild Lotus. We're going to take Lotus. And we're going to do them. We're going to take Leighton House and we're going to do Leighton House. You know, we do all of that kind of stuff. And a y-axis to the weather graph, yeah, that would make a difference.
So you've taken the flag.
Like, if you could do custom teams in this, people like Shen, who loves it. I know Shen loves it, he's told me he loves it. People like Shen or Cringer would still be playing it, like, periodically. Because you could go, okay, let's create a custom team. You know, Cringer would be doing his Holy Rollers runs like he did in Motorsport Manager. So if they come back for 24, best advice I could give them is add a fucking custom teams mode. And a bit more flavour off the track to add or remove points. So P3. Oh shit, did we not put them on bad parts? Oh chat, you didn't warn me that we forgot to put them on race parts. Okay, well they're definitely both just going out and coming back in then. Chat, that is entirely your fault. Literally, why do I keep you around, chat, if you're not going to flag to me when I haven't put them on practice parts? I blame Pi. I got distracted by Pi's raid. It's entirely Pi's fault. Bet she left a baby on the floor again as well. How have you crashed? You were in the pit lane. Fuck you, game. Is that car parked? Yeah, who is that fucker who keeps parking at the end of the pit lane? They really need to stop. Like, it's him! Get out of the goddamn pit lane! Go pay for parking somewhere else.
Radio check.
Yeah, ready to check, all good.
Loud and clear.
So radio check.
Right, both of you just drive in and don't crash. There's no point in sending them out for this practice. We don't want to damage the parts. Hopefully it doesn't hit Soph's development too much, because she's probably only got about 2 years left of, I think, of really realistically picking up improvements. Which is why I do think our title push with her is next year. It is a known law that any time you tune in to one of Pi's Sims 4 streams, she will have left a baby on the floor somewhere. It's just guaranteed. There will be, the moment you look at the screen, there will be a baby on the floor. It just is. It's the way it works. It's like the law of the internet or something. Also, Pi is the person who designs amazing CK3 shields. So, and she does them on commission. So if you want an amazing CK3 shield for one of your runs, she is the person to talk to. The law of Pi. Yeah. 3.15927 baby. The law of Pi. Who crashed? See, look, he's there again. I bet they crashed into him. Oh, what did you do? Bonk! You're not wrong, mate. Steak, indeed. Oh, Alpha Tauri aren't happy. Is Baku crashes come at standard? Yeah. I mean, they're not going out again. Also, we accidentally burned a set of mediums. which is really fucking annoying. This has been a bit of a train wreck. On the plus side, we didn't burn them that much. They're going to get returned. So we're going to have lots of softs for this race. Maybe burn an extra set of softs in qualifying for Soph. I did post in the Discord where that complaint about crashing in the pit lane. Yeah, it's happened way too often for us. Now, granted, obviously, we have been playing this game a lot, so it might even be that people just haven't spotted it. Definitely happens way more than it should. It's easily get roundable, because I'm relatively zen of like, we're doing this for fun. So if we get something like that outside a race condition, I am just going to, where it's just grossly unfair, I am just going to reload it. Whereas if you think like when the last race, when Soph spun out, we carried on racing with that, because that's just racing. Captain Franco, thank you very much for the follow. I will no doubt see you on Pie streams, but also now hopefully here. Yeah, so it's Sundays is CK3 normally, Mondays is at the moment F1 Manager, and probably will be for the foreseeable future, because I do find it quite zen. So does the cat when he turns up. So, as you can see from the psychology perspective I was talking about, this is their starting confidence. And the more confident they are, the less likely they are to make mistakes. So you can see that Sophie is actually in her second highest confidence zone with a 98. Whereas Lando is just below his with an 85. But he's a good enough driver that he should be able to compensate for that. So I posted a clip of F1 drivers doing red. That's Hamilton, isn't it? Doesn't spot. I assume it'll be the Hamilton clip. Which, to be fair, F1 cars do not have brake lights. The pony's normally shown up by now. I should go and check on him, actually. Make sure Max hasn't got him pinned down somewhere. 1 second. Let me just go check on Napoleon and get a wine refill. Be back in 1 minute. I was actually lucky enough, and Alex, if he's still in chat, came with me as we went to a Blue Jays game while we were in Canada last year. Yeah, I did. Took you to game in Canada. Right. I think we're going to YOLO going out. Let's see if we get a clean lap in. Oh, we're going to get a clean lap in. It is low rubber. Giggity. But we're also going to fuck with everyone else's fast laps. 0.5. Flow's going to need to go out again. Not convinced that's going to be fast enough to get her through. Unless Norris was crazy fast. I don't think he was crazy fast. I'm going to gamble. Because we fucked up on our medium tyres. And I want at least 2 softs for the race. So we've got 1 set coming back. That'll give us 2 softs for the race. We got time. Let's see how she holds. Oh, I think it's going to be close. Sadly, no real coverage of MLB here nowadays. We went to the Rockies Stadium a couple of times, nice ground. So, if you're outside the US, you can, for very little money, get MLB TV, which is fucking phenomenal. So I will often just have baseball on in the background while I'm coding or working. She's going to get through. I think we gambled right. Same with NFL in the UK. It's not pricey at all to get the live streaming services, because it's just not popular over here, so they don't charge a lot for it. I mean, UK, I heard it was good value. It's phenomenally good value. And like the stats packages and everything else you get, just really nice. So yeah, and the abbreviated games, so you can just watch. Because it's easy not to get spoiled on the results, and you can just watch it afterwards. So I will often just sit there and just, while I'm writing or coding or whatever else, I'll just have the baseball on in the background. Yeah, we gambled right. We gambled right. We didn't waste a set of tyres. Because that means we should be able to YOLO gamble it on going out on used softs. How's the grip looking? Low grip. Oh, fuck it. Might get a run. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, currently P1.
No, she's not getting through with that. She needs to go out again. She's not getting through on that. Oof. There's 8 minutes remaining. She's going to have 3 sets of softs for the race. But we want fresh softs for... I just reconfigured you? What? Why is it not auto fucking sorting run plan? You should just configure that. Yeah, I'm going to reload that because that's being weird. I was going to try running her again and just gambling on that, and if we didn't get through, we didn't get through. Whether Centre in charge of everything this season, quite possibly. I am going to do the same thing again now. I'm going to send them both out early. Should be alright.
P1.
That might be enough. That might be enough. I'm going to gamble on that. If she goes out, she goes out. Or if you're sports car racing fan like me, you're lucky and IMSA is free. Nice. Oh, go on, Soph. Sonoda will get out of that group. De Vries isn't going to get round faster than her. Sonoda didn't. She's fine. Yep, she's fine. De Vries, if you fuck me now... Oh, score. Oof. We gambled. We got away with it, which means fresh softs. Q3. Now on this one, do we go out straight away again? Hopefully everyone will come out. She's far enough behind Leclerc that she should get a good run and he won't hold her up. That's a good time from Norris. Oh no, Leclerc fucked. This is, I've noticed, is a problem. Is if they are just that little bit too close to the car in front, they just seem to slow down for some reason. There's no reason for it, they just seem to do it. But this is probably going to cost her.
Currently P6. So call the car and we'll box.
Annoying. She'll end up P8. Well, she might hold that. Ferraris aren't going to go faster. Nah, they did. Fuck you. Sainz with a killer lap. Actually, respect Sainz. Right, P8 for Flo. P2 for Lando.
It's race day.
There's no rain. This is what was going to annoy me. I reckon this was a medium softs, and we just don't have the tyres. We've only got one set of mediums. It's because we fucked up P3. Like, we should have used another set of softs in P3. I don't know. Hello. Do we start on the mediums or the softs? We're going one stop medium soft here. If we start on the mediums and there's a safety car, which is not uncommon in Azerbaijan, then we just go straight onto the softs because we'll already have used one of our compounds. Yeah, see, Alanin's talking my language. I think we go medium soft. And I reckon Soph will be able to do that as well. So we might have got away with this. Yeah. Because basically the rules are we need to use two different dry tyre compounds in the race because it's not going to rain. So by running this, what we do is it means that we will, if there's a safety car on say lap 5, we can actually, when the safety car's out, pit for softs, or if it's a red flag we just go straight for softs, because we will already have used the mediums for a bit, which means we can stay on double softs for the whole thing. Maybe not lap 5, it was lap 10 maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Fuel, we're going to under-fuel her. Lando will leave on regular fuel and run him Aggressive. For Soph, I just want to not crashing. This is Baku. So, use your ERS. Don't go heavy on pace. Maybe go slightly up on pace. I don't think I've ever seen an IRL race at Baku where the tyre strategy held up. Yeah, exactly. Let's do this. Just need her to not crash in the pack.
Final checks are being carried out on the grid, and it won't be long until we get underway. Now I wonder, will things be going Lando Norris's way in this race?
They're in second place on the grid, but that could so easily change in the first few seconds after lights out.
And the time has come. Here we go. With the Azerbaijan
No strategy survives contact with the barriers, yep. Don't know why you don't underfuel Lando. We've never had any experience, bad experience with Lando and fuel. Exactly. You know, we've never literally run out on fuel on the track. Because we forgot to take him off of running rich. It's not like we've ever done that at all. In before McLaren does a Red Bull 2020 and boink into each other. No, there's grid separation. Flo will probably drop to 11th off of this start. Norris has an outside chance to take the pole, take the lead. No, he won't. Leclerc's on softs. So everyone else is starting on softs. Hopefully they're doing soft hards, but probably doing soft mediums. So let's see what happens. Also, multi 490 sounds much sillier. Yep. Yeah, Noz does have the inside line. Let's see, shall we? High overtake aggression for him, not for Soph. No. That's a solid start from Leclerc. Well done, Charlie. Is that Ocon sliding up the inside? Low contesting 8th. Drop to 9th. Baku is a hard track. We're not really going to see any overtaking until we hit DRS, so let's drop him to aggressive.
So just manage your tyres.
Yeah, confirm.
It's a pity they don't let you pick numbers for drivers coming into the series. Yeah, or just go with, after a season it just resets to championship order. Like, allocate everyone an individual number, or the nearest available number that isn't allocated. Right, Norris is staying in touch with Leclerc. Sainz is holding up the rest of the grid, which is good for us because that's going to fuck with Ocon. Oh, is Norris going for it? Should get him when DRS kicks in. Norris is looking for a way past. Pick from any of the historical numbering systems, that would be quite fun. That's the other thing they just need to do to make this game have more longevity in it. It's just make it as moddable as, even just as Motorsport Manager was. Right, Norris is starting to fall back. We are about to get DRS. Just needs to stay in touch until DRS. We'll get him on DRS. Don't care that he's on softs, we'll get him. Blow. We'll leave on aggressive for now. That's him, he got him on DRS. If he can gap him, I'll be amazed.
So we are low on battery at the moment.
So focus on.
I'd imagine this will just be a bit of a battle up front.
Yeah, confirm.
But that's kind of in our interest.
Pretty hot.
Hey, you dropped a standard flow.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that we don't fall off a cliff on that tyre.
Yeah, copy.
Don't really mind if she drops back at the moment. Because the thing is, while they're trading places, they're absolutely taking time away from Sainz because he can't gain on them. And Norris tracks on this tyre better than Soph does. To be honest, if Soph finishes in the points, I'll be happy.
Now we can see what happened. Right, let's have a look now. Around turn 3. The opportunity begging to be taken.
The thing to remember is we're on our medium stint and Leclerc is on his soft stint. So as long as he can't drop us, this is really good for us. This is kind of a win for us and a loss for him. If he drops us, that's different. But I don't think he's going to be able to drop us.
Let's just confirm it's thermal dig.
But we are going to need to go balanced now.
So here we go, heading into turn 1. There's the opening.
She's holding her own. And remember, pretty much everyone else has started on softs.
And as a result, 8th place is theirs.
So holding her own on mediums around a bunch of people on softs is pretty damn good. Because she should actually soon be hitting the point where that's actually going to play in her favour, because the tyres will be less ragged. She just needs to not slam into a wall.
It's a fairly heavy accident. Stay well away from the debris.
Everyone alright?
But he's out of the car and okay.
Oh, it's way too early. What do we do, chat? Do we stay out? Do we go 2-stop and pit for softs now? What about hards? I just think hards would be the bad choice. I think we pit for softs because everyone else is going to pit for softs. Because they all started on softs. They're all either going to pit for hards. Yeah, that's the problem is they can probably make it onto mediums now. How much slower does the strategy think this two-stop is? Yeah, but the thing is, the strategy won't allow for taking out the safety car pit time. Where do we see how long the pit time is? Because we'll need to allow for that. Somewhere around here it tells you how long the pit lane time estimated is. IRL Baku is 32 seconds under, safety car about 17. Okay, so 17 is what we need to allow for, because it will be reasonably accurate. Now the thing is, we are right in front of the pit lane, so we can do it. So that's a 1:30.44. Not a huge difference. So it thinks it's 6 seconds faster. So if you add in the 17 seconds on top of that, I think we have to go for it, because that safety car's come at the absolute worst time for us. If we don't pit, everyone else is going to be out on mediums, and we're going to have to make up 32 seconds on our soft bit, or gamble that we get another safety car. Because everyone else is coming out on mediums. Sounds like either way we're gambling that we get a second safety car. Norris will make the time up, Soph won't. Double softs and trash them. I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're just going to go double softs and trash them. YOLO it. If we get lucky, we get a second safety car. If not, we're just absolutely blitzing to try and get up the rankings, and it'll be fun to watch. Noz, get in, get on softs. At least Flo just picked up a place before she did it. Also, we don't know who's out yet. So let's just confirm. She's coming in for softs. This is going to wipe out Norris's fuel deficit as well, which is nice. He's definitely coming in for softs. There's enough of a gap between them that we can double stack.
Let's have a look.
Because she'd just taken Lawson.
Look at the McLaren driver here. It's certainly inviting.
I mean, you can see she's so much better than even last year.
That takes them to 7th place.
I honestly think we ditch Lando at the end of the season and we YOLO this.
Safety car deployed. That's positive.
Yeah, all good.
That's 2 races in a row. Bonk! Ooh!
And not much that the team can do about that one.
Oh, I'm glad the camera cut away on that one. Leclerc came in, so yes, every fucker is going to pit here. Watch us get caught in pit traffic because it never rearranges the fucking pit order either.
So the stops are starting to happen now.
It's always they, yeah. Yeah, see, look, we came out in second. Fuck you, Leclerc. Flo's gained a couple of places in that. Oh, she fell back down again. How? How? This game is whack sometimes. This is where it would benefit us if they adjusted the order. Ooh, Norris can make the end. Hold the phone. I think we can make it with both if we don't push the tyres. Yeah, I mean, that'd be running on lights. I think we could see if we're competitive on light tyres. Because it would basically be us running on lights versus them, on light softs versus them running on mediums. Because I guarantee you everyone else is on mediums. Stroll, they're going for 2-stop. Or they think they can stretch mediums. I don't know.
Just need to stay on top of the lifting coast.
Yeah, our drivers are way too polite on pit lane exits. This is part of the problem, is we just don't barge our way out. I don't know, what do we want to do, chap? Do we want to try and play safe? Or are we going to absolutely rag the shit out of these tyres and go with a double pit stop? Have a think, chat. What do we do? How are you overheating the tyres? The hell are you doing, man? Which option hurts us less if there's a second safety car? Ragging the tyres. Because if we run light and then everyone else gets to come in for another set of softs, which they would, we'll have gained nothing. Split strategy, get her to rag the tyres with another stop, and Lando to go to the end on his current. That could work. And yeah, welcome Dange. Tyres like 1960s brutalist buildings have their place, but you'd really deep down want to nuke them. Yep, true. How are you overheating your tyres?
So focus on just bringing your tyre temperatures back under.
What are you doing to them?
Yeah, got to.
So that is roughly a lap of fuel that she's gained back there. The other thing to remember though is that's weight. And everyone else will be picking it up as well. What are you doing? This is almost making my choice for me, which is we're just going to burn the tyres. Because if we're having to run them that to not burn them. Oh, fuck it, we're ragging them. Leroy Jenkins.
Safety car into the pit.
Lando Jenkins.
Caution on the battery.
Cool. Temps have peaked.
Peak away.
So we are low on battery at the moment.
Let's do this. Go on, Lando. Lando, I need you to get me another 20 seconds on that here. Before these tyres die. This isn't going to work for Florsch. Though she's doing admirably well. Fly, Doris! Fly like you've never flown before. Exactly. Gonna need to take him off of blowing fuel though soon.
Just take cruise lift off.
Lando. I need you to Lando.
To push.
Confirm. And we are seeing high temp peaks, so just keep on top of it. We've had a big crash here.
Ooh.
Maybe debris exit turn 16.
Do we pit under yellow? Yellow's not as good as a safety, but it is going to slow people down. What do we do? Yeah, Lando's just passed. Soph might be in time. Oh, can she get in? Hard left, Soph. Hard left. Hard left. Well, tell her to not pit if she doesn't make that. Mirror signal, Soph, mirror signal. Yeet into that pit lane, not the fucking wall. Not the wall, Soph. I want to say this very clearly, not the wall of the pit lane. I want you in that pit lane. Is she in time? No, she missed it. She missed it. God damn it, Soph. I said steer left. I said steer left, not right. Left, Sophie. Left. Your other left. What's the German for left? port. Yeah, I do need a fucking glass of port now.
I'm not quite sure what's happened there.
Is it-
Oh, well done, lads. Good work. Oh!
Honestly, stupid from there.
That was a proper, if I'm going down, I'm taking you down with me. Is Soph just casually overtaking on a yellow flag here? Because I'm big fan of that. Big fan of that, Soph. You go for it. Just casually overtake on a yellow flag. Fuck safety. Go on, Soph. Do him on the yellow flag. Yeah, I think it is only in sector 37, so...
Pick up the pace.
Sector 3, rather.
Now we should be able to take a look.
Screw you, Gasly.
Look at the McLaren driver here. They decide to give it a go. And the McLaren there with
Right. Ugh. Burn. Right, when are we pitting for this? We need to start planning for the optimal point here. That's going to curve off at roughly the same burn. So realistically, 2 laps so that we can burn again. Give time to get track position back. We bring her on the 33. We could very easily stretch Norris to the end. If we pulled right back on his tyres now, he'll make it to the end. I think we pull back on Norris. He's got 10 seconds on Leclerc. And if we get safety, we'll just pit. Like, Leclerc's on 76% mediums. Go on, Soph, you got him. Nice, good work. I doubt anyone's taking 10 seconds off on him, even if he's same size. Yeah, I think he's safe.
So let's take a look at the replay. The opportunity's there.
Okay, we're picking Soph. I think we'll be lucky if she gets top 10. But, you know, fair play to her. Fourteenth, she can make that up. She should top 10. The intervals are annoying though. She might not. She's not going to get DRS off of anyone. She needs a DRS train, really, and she's not going to get it. Oh, fuck you!
So red flag, red flag.
Two laps earlier. If we'd held her out for 2 more laps. We need a curse stream emote. Yeah.
Right then, we can take a look now. Now look, here we head into turn 2.
It's not even someone above us. Logan, what you doing, man?
Fairly substantial crash there, and that won't do the car any good at all. And while all that was happening, the crew in the garage could do nothing but watch on.
She has got a fresh set to go to. And Norris gets on a fresh set. That is going to bunch everyone up. Everyone will be on softs.
Our race here resumes as we get back underway. And it's lights out. And away we go.
Burn. 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 Yeah, welcome to the Baku sprint. Norris is like, my track. The set flows engine and car to max push. She is on max push. And now past the start, I'm going to go down to speedy view. And I'm going to drop her to that. Because she'll likely do better on that view. She's got the Bearman.
Look at the McLaren driver here. And they squeeze by. That puts them in 13th place now.
Do you see what I mean though? I think if she's in a car that is genuinely better than the rest of the field,
The gap opens up for them.
I think she's good enough to win a championship in the right car.
Up to 12th and sniffing at those points places.
don't destroy the tyres too quickly.
Confirm.
Oh, our ERS has just gone. That's gonna fuck up. See what I mean when I said her margins are thin? Yeah, you do see what I mean. She's like... You look at Lando. Lando's just pulled out another 6-second gap without blinking. Whereas she climbs or struggles to climb because she's just not quite as good. I've driven through that really narrow pass next to Baku Castle in a Mercedes SL300 Gullwing. Cannot imagine how scary that is in a huge Anno 2 2023 F1 car. I know it's crazy, isn't it? Like, she's going to float around there now. Whereas if she'd got the benefit of that stop, she'd have easily have held 5th and maybe even got a podium. She just doesn't have the margin of recovery that Norris has. And her ERS dying has not helped her. Like, that's probably cost her a position.
Use the overtake.
We've got yellow.
Yeah, confirm.
Schumacher, how do you crash on the last lap?
So we can have debris on track.
It's there for the taking. And the McLaren there with a beautiful manoeuvre.
She's going for him. She's going for him.
So we're low on battery at the moment.
And the race whip.
Hey! It's a cool car to drive, thank you.
Go on, Flo. She's so unlucky on that. If they got a red flag with like 1 lap to go, would they just call the race? Would they run the last lap? Yeah, they would run it under a safety car.
The McLaren driver put in a great performance today.
Norris did a good drive. I actually am going to give massive kudos to Soph in that race.
Well, they've been
I
waiting
think
for
she
this,
did the
haven't
drive
they?
of the race.
It's only right that they make the most of it.
And I think we were so unlucky on that red flag.
Fabulous drive here today. It's no surprise to see this
You take that red
and on
flag
the
out,
podium.
we've got 2 cars on the podium.
Taking
Telling you
their
now.
win of the season, there's just no stopping them.
And before they get back to work, I think it's time to cool off.
And that race makes me think even more that we give her a drive. We give her a shot at the title next year. I think we're going to have a research bonus. We outpointed everyone, which is the main thing. Especially if we just burn everything and go 0 next season research. I don't think we'll have to. I think we can give her 2 shots at the title. Right, she does need new parts now. We've only got one of them left, so she's already on rear wing 4s. She's already on the underfloor 3s. She was in the suspension 3s. I'm going to drop her back to suspension 1. Let's use one up. What have in the season left in the season races? A lot. I think that was race 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 14 races to go. Okay, we do want an extra rear wing on more than the others, so the 0.5 and a 7. This next ATR's a long way away. I don't even mind so much that that's a 39. I'm not surprised the board have high opinions of me. It's all good. It's all good. Oh no, the boardroom needs refurbishing. Really care? Not really. New research. Let's get another chassis nice and quick. Let's get side pods in. So one of the issues we've got here is going to come down to this. So we're going to swap Soph to her new powertrain, to her new ERS. This is going to come down to whether we can keep her on the same ERS for the rest of the season. Maybe we can get away with it. We've done 10 races on the first ERS. So it would take 10 races on the second DRS to get down to the same level. That means we need 4 races on the backup ERS. I think we can get away with not buying her an ERS. It's going to be shite by the end of the season, but we can get away with it now. Her smoothness is high enough. I think we can get away with that. That's 2.5 million back in the budget we can spend. Because that ERS is not going to deteriorate as quickly because we've still got 39% we can do in practice. I think we can make the end of the season on gearboxes as well, as long as she doesn't wreck one in a crash. Question is engines. Can we make the end of the season on the engines she's got? I think yes. She has about 180% of engine left. Yeah, the problem is the performance drops off below 50%. So in terms of actual engine performance, I mean the performance is dropping off now, but to be catastrophic performance drop off is about below 50%. So she actually has about 64% of usable engine left, but everything else gets to go into practice. But maybe we just run her on bad engines for a few races at the end of the season. I think this season is about getting through the season, and I think we ditch Norris at the end of the season, and I think we go full ham on research here, and I think that gives us a shot at the title with Soph next year. It's a bit of a YOLO, but I think we can do it. I think we just go full ham on research. Norris will get through on the parts he's got. We can do one more race on that ERS. His ERS is going to crap out after this next race. Might be alright. Might be alright anyway. I think we can get Norris through easily on the parts he's got, because he's just better on parts. 64% usable energies left is about 3.84 cylinders. Yeah, I think we got... I don't know, we'll see more as the season goes on. I think for this, make sure you're on the Discord. !Discord. If you're enjoying this and you really want to be involved, make sure you're in that F1 campaign chat, because we will do some more races during the week. And we'll have a bit of a chat. I'll post images. I will stream to the Discord channel when we do some races. Can we see Sophie's stats? You can, but we're not quite at the end of the month. There's one more race to go, so she will get a bit more of a boost. But in terms of where she is now, I will post... Oh, she's an 82. She's jumped to an 82. So what did she get? I'd need to check at the end after this next race. If she hits 83 by the end of the season, I think we defo take the punt with her. I think realistically that gives us 2 seasons with which to potentially win the title with her. Whereas if we don't take the punt, we're only going to have 1 season with her. So I think it feels like a bigger gamble, but it's actually less of a gamble if we do it when we're saying we're going to do it. We got a point of smoothness. Interesting, she must have been right on the cusp of going up 1 then. Yeah, make sure you're on the Discord, because we will get at least 1 more. Depends on how many races I manage to get through between now and Monday. It'll either be this Monday, where it's the end of the season, or it'll be next Monday, where it's the end of the season. Depends on how many races I get through. But definitely tune in on the Discord if you're not a member of the Discord already. Right, I think on that note, this has been wonderful. I think it's been 2 good races for us. Hopefully you've enjoyed yourselves.